The Film Crickets are intended for mature audiences. Any guests on the Film Crickets do not necessarily share the same opinions as the Film Crickets.
Film Crickets, chirping about movies.
It's time for the Film Crickets with Jay Fortier, Chris Martineau, and Melanie Howerton. On this week's episode, Melanie's daughter, Emma, joins the Crickets, and Jay, Chris, Melanie, and Emma review the 1991 American psychological horror thriller film, The Silence of the Lambs.
Have the lambs stopped screaming? I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Does it stand the test of time? Let's find out. Your Film Crickets are on now.
All right. Hey, friends. Welcome to the Film Crickets. My name is Jay Fortier. I'm along with my good friends and co-hosts, Melanie Howerton and Chris Martineau.
Hello.
Hi.
What's happening?
And we are honored to have Emma Howerton, and that is Melanie's daughter, and she is going to join us for this diehard. She is a diehard fan of this film, The Silence of the Lambs. You ready?
Yeah, I am. I'm very happy to be here. Very excited to talk about this movie.
Okay, cool. I can dig it. So just before, let's get things kind of out of the way. Melanie, is Emma's room neat enough for the podcast?
It's so funny because I think that's what she was doing up there because the door was shut and locked, and I was like, looks pretty good. I'm looking over there.
Whenever I have Zoom calls with my son, who still lives in Connecticut, it's like, oh my God, your room is absolutely horrendous. Like, what is happening? It's like a demilitarized zone. So it's good to see, like, some semblance of order in someone else's.
Well, there's a pile of crap that you can't see. It's all in a corner.
Fantastic.
It's mostly clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's all it is just clothes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually kind of excited to do this movie. It's a good movie. We get this weird amalgam of movies that are either going to be obviously garbage or obviously don't hold up, or are kind of in between, where I'm usually the dissenter and says this sucks and everybody else says it's good. But I mean, this is kind of a classic. It's up there with, like, not in my opinion, but like Jaws in terms of the Mount Rushmore of, like, very good, influential movies from cinema history. And I believe this one does belong there. While it does have some problems that I'm hopefully Emma can kind of talk to me about as we go forward. But as we typically do in the podcast, we do want to talk about our history with it real quick. Like, how much do we like it? When did we see it? That sort of thing. If you don't mind, I'm going to break tradition. I'm going to go first. I did see this in the theater in 1991. It was a strong cup of coffee. I was a junior in high school, so it was kind of like, it was what everybody was talking about. I remember I liked it. I remember that I did get, going to the history of the podcast. My grandmother, who was a video pirate, made a duped copy of this with her 4 VCRs that she had back in the day. I believe she put on the VCR tape Silence of the Lamps. I'm pretty sure, this is from the lady who, the name of the movie was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, and she put it as Stop or My Mom Will Kill You. So, I mean, we're just saying, she's elderly. What are you going to do? So, bottom line is that I did watch this movie a lot on VHS, and when I did watch it again yesterday and this morning again, as an adult, I was able to appreciate it more than I did then. I was able to kind of see the nuances that I missed the first time, because the first time I was just looking for the gore. I was looking for the shock. I was looking for the, whoa, this is twisted, because I was like 17, 18, 19 years old. But now the nuances of it and Jodie Foster's character that hopefully we'll get into was there. So I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm glad to get to watch it again. Jason, since you're to my left, you're on my right. What do you got?
I saw it on videotape or cable. I forget.
Yep.
It was, I think, after the Oscar hype and everything like that. So it was like one of those, everybody's like, ooh, everybody's talking about it. So I saw it then, and maybe like 1 or 2 times since, and that's it. And I saw it yesterday.
It's a tough movie to watch. I don't know. I mean, I know Emma and Melanie, obviously, this is in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Melanie has this weird thing with true crime, which I still don't get, even though she's tried to sell me on it. All
I have
right,
the
that's-
exact same thing,
and-
which
and
is
that's
why I
cool.
wanted what I'm doing.
Well, okay, we can blame Mom,
Yeah.
amongst other things. So
It's
the
like,
other
we
problems
think
that you
different.
have.
We think like we have a morbid fascination with it, and we're like the serial killer. We're like the opposite. We find
Yeah.
the way you solve it. We think they're like geniuses. We're like
Mm-hmm.
in awe of them. We love the science behind it. We love the profiling behind it. Like it's just amazing to us. Like
But
Yeah.
the thing
how
is
people
that
solve things.
and we're going to get into that because I know you're just itching to talk about that. But I think Jay kind of like echoes what I'm saying is that it's not an easy movie to watch. You can't really just be
No.
entertained by it. And
So,
I mean,
can I interrupt for a second?
sure. I don't want to put words in your
I know
mouth.
we're going to go down everybody's history and everything.
Yeah.
But like, I would also, even if we answer this later, does it really feel like a horror? Like I know
No.
it was the
No.
first horror to win Best Picture or whatever, right? You said that the other day. It
Yeah.
won Best
Yes.
Picture.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm looking at it going, and like,
Yeah.
They
Definitely
wouldn't even
not
allow
a
it in
horror.
No, and they wouldn't even allow it. It truly is a horror. It's classified as one, but they wouldn't even allow it in like Fangora magazine because they didn't. They thought that if somebody put this, like their ratings and how much they liked it in that magazine, then it was going to actually make them not be able to get any Oscars or anything because horror movies typically don't win those type of things.
Right.
So they wouldn't allow it in a lot of magazines. They wanted everybody to go and give it their own opinion and their own whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
just look at it and go, it's not very like, you know what I mean? Like yeah, big deal. They called it a horror that won a thing.
Yeah, it's more like a psychological.
Thank you.
It's definitely a psychological thriller, and people tend. I see people a lot of times mix up like thrillers and horror movies, and this is definitely something that would be a thriller and more like a psychological thriller for sure.
So
I agree.
It doesn't feel like a horror movie at all. I'm watching
I mean, it's gross, but it's not like
no, but it
all
never
the time.
felt like I wasn't. I don't know. I never felt like I was watching a horror film. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Melanie, talk to me. Just seen the theater. What's your deal?
It's so funny because you know how sometimes, like, well, most of the time I can't remember when I've seen something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when I saw this because I actually didn't see it in the theater, which was really odd for me at that time. And I was at my boyfriend's house, and he had all of his friends over, and I rented it by myself. And he had this apartment that was like an old house converted. And it had these massive double doors that were like solid that you could just kind of pocket doors that you could pull together.
Yes.
And I just took the movie and some snacks and whatever, and I went in there by myself in the dark, closed the doors, and I turned it up so I wouldn't hear all them because they were, in the other room, and put it on. And from the moment I put this in, I just couldn't take my eyes off of it. I just
Sure.
couldn't believe what I was watching. I just thought it was amazing, and couldn't believe that I hadn't gone to the movies to see it, and couldn't believe I hadn't seen it before because it had been out for a while. I mean, it was on VHS. I mean, it had been out for a long time. I couldn't believe I had never seen it before.
Okay.
But
All
it was
right.
just, I was like, wow.
And you have it on some other media that's
I actually don't, and neither does my mom. I don't know why, but we don't have it on DVD.
Okay.
When it's such an amazing movie, I could have sworn we did, but we don't. So I watched it on Max just now. But when the kids were younger, and I don't mean like 5. I mean, like I think I started having them watch horror movies as like a teenager. But big deal. I mean, we all did. But I had them watch it because I just thought it was such a good movie. So that's how, yeah.
So Emma, you were forced to watch this movie. If I'm hearing this properly. All right, Emma. Happy 8th birthday. Here's what we're gonna do.
It's probably like 14 or something.
All right.
I was in high school definitely when I
Okay.
first saw this. I don't remember exactly when, but I like I said, I grew up watching horror movies. Like they were always on. Like even like I just remember like at a young age like watching like the Abbott and Costello meets the Frankenstein.
Sure.
Like I loved it, adored it. I grew up loving. I would watch all the black and white horror movies with my grandmother and my mom in the basement, and like just I loved that world. But and
In the basement
I love it.
with the well.
Well,
and the bucket. I'm sorry.
no, my grandmother lives in this. She has a basement apartment.
Yeah.
In the bucket and put it down and made her
In the
walk.
lotion. Yeah.
In the lotion in the basket.
Is it Nana downstairs? What was it?
It's so I have 2 grandmothers. I have my grandmother on my mom's side and my grandmother on my dad's side, and to separate them, my grandmother has lived with me most of my life, so she's Grammy downstairs.
Grammy downstairs, yeah.
But as she likes to say, Grammy under the stairs. And then my other grandmother, she lives in Noonan, so it's Grammy Noonan.
Yeah.
And that's how we. She's always like, "All right, I'm gonna go back under the stairs."
Grammy under the stairs.
But she
Don't
lives
let her
down
get
there.
the letters from Hogwarts. Don't
She
let
has
her.
a little mailbox, and it's just like on the top of her
Owls are trying to
stairs.
break in.
I know.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God. All right, you guys don't want to hear me anymore. I'm just gonna go under the stairs. Oh God, that's so funny. Oh my God. Okay.
She's wonderful. She's amazing. And
Emma, I'm
it's
just
so
gonna
funny.
ask, and I know we're going off on a tangent. What's your first
Mm-hmm.
memory horror movie?
I want to say, I think the earliest I remember. Okay, I don't know which happened first.
Okay.
I remember being scarred by The Sixth Sense.
Okay,
Because I
fair
went
enough.
downstairs to my grandmother and she had it on, and it was this. She didn't hear me come downstairs. She would have turned it off, but she didn't
Yeah.
hear me. And I was just
Okay.
standing behind the couch watching it. And it was the scene where I think they're in the kitchen or something, and the dead lady's wearing a pink bathrobe.
Sure, yeah.
Or something.
Yep.
And I don't really remember it, but my mom had the same bathrobe. So I was terrified of that bathrobe for years, and I actually haven't fully seen The Sixth Sense. I watched the first half of it. We never finished it.
You should.
But I just
It's
remember
good.
I will.
No.
But I remember that scarring me. And then I don't know if this was before it, but I have this memory of my sister and I putting like the marker caps all over our fingers to
Sure.
be like Freddy Krueger.
Okay, that's cool.
So,
All right.
but I
can
think
dig it.
like I truly remember watching all the black and white horror movies.
Okay.
That's what I really remember. Is I was young and watching with my grandmother all the
that I started
time.
her on. One was because it had like there's zero sex. You don't see anybody get killed. There's really no gore at all in it. I think there's one swear. Was When a Stranger Calls from like 2004, 2006.
Sure.
That
The remake.
and the other one was The Tooth Fairy.
Those were, I think those were later though. I think I was in middle school when I saw those.
No, I remember starting you on When a Stranger Calls. Well,
Well,
no.
the Tooth Fairy one was later, but yeah.
Sorry, Emma, you're wrong.
Apparently.
Oh my goodness.
I remember which one I started them on because I was like, this one's a good breaker, you know. Like,
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun that obviously Emma is a college student and studying and well-versed and well-spoken, and people, used to really look down on people that like, oh, you've watched horror movies for how long in your life? And you know what? We usually turn out pretty well adjusted because horror movies are a good outlet for the things that are bugging you. I always think.
They're
Right?
really good, 100%, and it's perfect for people who have anxiety because it's that feeling of like just focusing on something else so hard and being so involved in these other people's lives and being like, please, like so focused, like, okay, I don't want these people to die. Oh, this monster, where is he at? And you're focusing on that, and you're not focusing on anything else in your life.
Right.
And like I have had anxiety for the longest time, and so I just it really is such a great like outlet for things like that.
And also it's a way to kind of like look at the things that you're afraid of, but you know that you're safe.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I can look at these things that I'm afraid of all the time, but I know I'm safe in my house. So when I go
Listen.
out in the real world and I feel that thing, I know I'm probably, hopefully, going to be okay. At least a reminder that I'm going to be okay. You know what I mean?
Well, that's and it's funny enough that you bring that up because that's actually why a lot of people listen to true crime.
Okay, fair
It's
enough.
it's a way to familiarize yourself with all the bad things that are in the world and learn ways to protect yourself from them without being involved in them.
Yeah,
I think
excellent.
it's why that's really appealing to a lot of people is
Yep.
because you like hear these people's stories and you're like, okay, well, I know that if I'm ever in this situation that I can do what this person did and get out of it, and I can do what this person did, and then that's part of why it's so interesting to like, because a lot of girls are really who are into true crime, and it's because these things typically happen to girls, and it's like you're able to learn how to try to protect yourself from it by making yourself aware of what happens outside.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, when I would watch something where if a girl was kidnapped or something like that and it was a good ending and like the girl would be so smart and how she kind of like got out of the whole thing, I would have them watch like that episode of whatever it was. I'd be like, look what she does here. Look what she's doing here. If this ever happens, do this. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So-
like, I would
No,
always
we'd be
do
getting
that.
off the bus to come home from school. We'd get off the bus, wait at the front door to get let in, and then my mom would be like, "Okay, now we're gonna sit down and watch this episode so that you guys know how to do in this situation in case you're ever in it."
When you got off the bus, did you put the keys between your fingers as you were getting off the bus?
Well,
So
they always had a set in, but I do that when I walk to my car.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
idea.
you're saying I should say no to the candy.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
I used to have to go over that with Chloe all the time because I swear to God, she would have been that kid. If somebody said, "Come here, kid, you want some candy?" She'd be like, "Sure."
Yeah, I love candy.
Hey, you want to come help me find my puppy dog? Yes.
I love puppy
And, like, I
dogs.
had to go over like 1,000 times. Like, Chloe, no,
So what's interesting here is that this movie, and we're going to do the IMDb breakdown in a moment, and the lens through which I watched this movie as an adult is that Jodie Foster, and I don't want to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about it, but Jodie Foster, her whole bag is that she is been injected into the boys' club, and that everybody around her is a dude. Everybody, and she is constantly trying to fight against the boys' club to legitimize herself in the boys' club when she shouldn't have to. Right? She's very smart and very educated, and yes, she's trying to get out of West Virginia, but she's always surrounded by that testosterone, and she needs to rise above that. That's my take on the film, and something I did not clue into the first time when I saw it. So that's
one
why
of the main people that invented kind of profiling was a woman that was introduced to the FBI, and not one guy would take her seriously.
Yep.
It wasn't like she was one of the first people. She did it. It was
Yeah,
her.
she did.
It was not the guys. It was her. And
Yeah.
there's a great podcast or a documentary about her. Phenomenal.
Amazing.
But so I got a lot of thoughts on that, but let's get into the IMDb breakdown. I mean, everybody's heard of the movie, but here we go. And we're slow, and here we are. All right, so Silence of the Lambs came out in 1991. It's rated R, comes in just a shade under 2 hours. A young FBI cadet must receive the help of an incarcerated and manipulative cannibal killer to help catch another serial killer, a madman who skins his victims. Directed by Jonathan Demme, written by Thomas Harris and Ted Talley. And it stars, of course, Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins and Scott Glenn and Ted Levine, who, Melanie, I know you like Monk so much,
Yes.
right? And
It was very hard. Once
I
we
saw
saw
a
him,
lot of
it was
Monk.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yes. Insane.
I saw a
When he
lot of
was-
Monk.
No, Monk wasn't there yet, So then,
Yeah.
when Monk came out, I was like, oh my God. It was so hard for me to take him seriously in Monk, having have seen Silence of the Lambs and his little dancing act.
It's funny
the
though
thing-
because I didn't grow up having this I saw my mom used to always watch Monk, so I knew him as the guy from Monk before I saw Silence of the Lambs. So then when I saw him and then I was like, what? I just couldn't.
I didn't
it's so
know
funny.
I didn't know it was James Gumb from Silence of the Lambs all the time that I watched Monk, and then near the end of the series he shaved and was like in Clergy.
Yeah.
Ted Levine, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Buffalo Bill, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
and then I couldn't not see the dancing scene in front of the video
so
camera.
hard.
And-
Yeah.
He's such
but
a
that
good
just
actor.
it goes to show he's a good actor. He can just do whatever. All right. So now we're going to talk about Silence of the Lambs. So here's the thing. So yeah, there's a lot of shock value in Silence of the Lambs. There's a lot going on in terms of murder and we see a lot of pictures of eviscerated people, and people have to see these pictures of horrible people that have been disfigured, and that's the FBI's job. But let's get back to Jodie Foster. She is a cadet, and from the beginning of the movie, she's jogging out in Virginia, probably very, very humid. As I live near Virginia, I know it's hell's doorstep. It's like the Caribbean out here. It's crazy pants. And she's jogging through the woods, and we start in the middle of the woods where everything's open, and then we slowly, as in those opening credits go by, it gets closer. It's first she's by herself, and then it gets closer, and then she's on the FBI compound, and then she's going to the FBI building, and then she's going to the FBI offices, and it's getting closer and closer, and she's getting more and more confined, and as the more she gets confined in those opening shots, the more you see she's the only woman around. It is the boys' club, and she is being either looked at sexually, or she's being looked at she's looked down upon, and that's her world. And that is something I obviously did not pick up on as a young man, because I wasn't exposed to that idea. And now as I've gotten older, I recognize how uncomfortable that is. And I just need to give props to Jodie Foster for she plays the role with that inner anxiety or hurt or like everyone's staring at me vibe. Am I wrong on this or what?
No, 100%. And I actually wrote a paper about this movie and specifically about that.
Now I feel intimidated. Okay.
Well, you know, she was for this, so.
Okay.
Well, it actually was for an English class. I just picked this because he was just I don't know what the topic was, but it was just like kind of something you wanted to write about, and just you had to like make up the themes for it and everything. And I just wrote about this paper, and one of the themes I used was how a lot of it is her struggle, like in this male-dominated field, and how despite that she excels phenomenally in ways that all of these guys were not able to. Like she caught him. She was there. She was the guy. She was the one at the house while all these stupid idiot men were at the wrong freaking house. Like she did it. Like she did the damn thing. And I think it's so awesome.
I'll do you one better in that we're jumping to the end, but whatever. If you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, go for it.
Yeah.
But
at this point.
how think about that last scene where you have what's his name, Scott Glenn, what's his character name? The father figure to Jodie Foster. Her boss, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He is in a military plane surrounded by military guys doing the most guy thing ever in an army surrounded by army fatigues, and he says, "No, Agent Starling, we got him. We followed this lead. We're flying there now." And she's on the ground in the town where Buffalo Bill is. And he says, "No, we got him." And she says, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And she's really spewing off all of the leads that she got. And she's saying, "No, I found him. I got it." He's like, "No, we got him. Don't worry about what you said." And he's flying in a big old, basically flying green penis. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, to do the man thing. And she says, "What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "I don't know. Dig up some more stuff on this missing girl." Like he gives her like an errand.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like he's
No.
like, "We found her. You know what you could do? Go find out about that person that died while we're doing the man stuff." And in doing so, she finds Buffalo Bill.
Right. And they're just, the way that they're doing it also seems like they all just want to take the credit for it. Because she's like, "Oh, I'm here. I can be there in so many hours, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Forget about it. We did it. This is fine. You don't need to be here. Go do this stupid little task."
Yep. Yeah,
Well,
it is a stupid little task. It's insulting what he has her do.
Yes.
Like, it's
it is.
insulting.
What about when he basically says, "Okay, we're gonna go in this room. Me and the police are just gonna go talk for a little while. You stay here." And then like he says, "That was just doing what I thought was right." She goes, "It's not right." Like and I'm paraphrasing. I only saw the movie for the first time.
But I liked specifically how she called him out, and I props to her because she is in this male-dominated field, and she calls him out, and she goes, "No, that wasn't okay because they look to you to see how to act, so you need to act accordingly." And I thought that was really brave of her in that moment.
And what is it? How does he respond? He goes, duly noted.
Yeah.
That's it. Something like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's just doing what he. I mean, he's not, what he's doing is not necessarily appropriate from a gender perspective, but he's not evil. He's not necessarily taking advantage of her. He's just in the system, which is the boys' club system. Right.
And to make things worse, she arrived when he sends her on the initial assignment is to go talk to Hannibal Lecter, so he can maybe because he won't talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll talk to you.
Because he's using her sexuality.
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, I guess in that sense, whatever works. But
Yeah.
when she arrives there, I'm dead serious. In my life, I have never hit on a woman 5 seconds after meeting her. Like Anthony Heald, is that his name? Anthony Heald.
Yeah.
Such a pig.
He's a pig.
He was disgusting.
Right.
Yeah.
Like to the point that later on the end, when you know he's going to get eaten by.
Yeah.
You're like, great.
That's okay. We all
We're
hate
talking
that.
about that. We're like, we're so sad for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, but it's like I couldn't believe it. Like he just barely spoke to her for 5 seconds. Like, if you need someone to show you around the town. I'm like, oh god.
Well, what about the nerds at the
Yeah.
Smithsonian?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they
The book
immediately.
nerds did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like, you go out for
I'm just-
cheeseburgers?
I'm just trying
Either
to
they
do...
don't respect her in this movie, or they just hit on her.
Yeah.
Either one. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's not appropriate in that time. And so that's something I'm more worldly now, and I understand those situations better. As a kid in 91, like, I'm just thinking that's funny. Like,
Yeah.
oh, these nerds are hitting on her, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have a shot with her. Are you kidding me? But now it's like, well, now I understand what Jonathan Demme is getting at with
Yeah.
Jodie Foster in this movie, right? So there's something, anything more about, I mean, Jodie Foster is so good. She can
She is.
basically do anything. She's so good.
Yeah.
She's so smart. She went to Yale.
Wow.
And,
Really? Wow.
and she went to Yale, and I heard interviews with her, and she's so smart. And she said that the easiest way to get through Yale is to write papers. Because she's like, if I can write papers, I'll just pass Yale. What? It's Yale. What are you talking about?
Right.
But that's how the confidence she has. She's like, I can't do math, I can't do science, but I can write papers. And if I can write papers, but it's Yale though. Like, how are you that? How are you that humble? Anyway, but she's so good, and she's directed a movie. She directed Little Man Tate.
Yeah.
And which is not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's not perfect, but it's good. We haven't talked about Hannibal Lecter yet.
I know.
We have to talk about Hannibal Lecter. Here's the thing, and I don't know if Melanie, you have this in the notes. What's your impression? It's a really broad question. Dumbest question ever on this podcast. What is your impression of Hannibal Lecter? Anybody? Stupid question. I know.
Well, there is a little bit of his. I was like, Emma, you answer it, and then I'll tell the trivia later on.
All right.
I think he's such a brilliant character.
Yep.
I truly, it is fascinating because he is so smart. He is arguably the smartest person in this entire film.
Yep.
Yet he's still a serial killer. But they need his help. It's so interesting because he's so complex as a character, and like, you like him despite knowing
it's kinda
he's
crazy,
eaten all
yeah.
these people and that's why he's in jail. You love him and his character and the way he's helping Jodie, because he's not just, or what's her name in the film? Starling. He's not like just like spoon feeding her the information, because he knows that she's smart enough to figure it out if
Yeah,
he
he
says
wants
it
her
in
to
his
figure it
little mechanical ways. And like, and that's like, I feel like that's partially why he started to try to lead them in the wrong direction, is because he knew she would figure it out, because he wanted her to solve it. He wanted this for her in a way that I think is so interesting, because he looks like he doesn't have any care for anybody else, but he has some sort of affection towards Starling, just intellectually, I think.
Yep.
Not sexually at all, but he just appreciates how smart she is, and he tells her at the end, like, don't worry, I'm not coming for you, the world's more interesting with you in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, he's
100%.
such an interesting character. I think probably one of the best characters ever made, I think.
And he couldn't stand that guy that we were talking about, and he knew that he was trying to take all the credit for everything, and then also, like, he was trying to get Jodie Foster in trouble and the FBI by saying, oh, there was never a deal, but there is now because of me, blah, blah, blah. You know, so, and then also, like, when Riggs, like, did that to her, he drove him crazy until he basically died. He didn't do that just to be a jerk. He did it for her. Like 100%. He did that for her. That's all I want to say.
He tends to, it's weird how he mixes being a gentleman with being a psychopath. Like, it's like, it's like important to him, like, no, that was very rude, like, the way.
That's what I was saying. That's what I said that you guys didn't hear. I said, one of my favorite parts and lines is at the end when they find out he gets out, and then they were all worried about her safety, and she was like, no, he would never come after me. I can't explain it, but he would consider that rude.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So my take on this, and maybe Emma can back me up, or at least kind of expound on it, is that in this movie, we're all very worried about everybody's motivations. Why is Buffalo Bill doing what he's doing, right? If we can figure out why he's doing what he's doing, then we can find him. Why is Jodie Foster the way she is? Why is Starling the way she is? In fact, Lecter misjudges her by saying that, she was maybe a little bit loose with the boys in West Virginia, and that she was, kind of like white trash. And she's not white trash. She's from West Virginia, but she loved her father, and she had a good upbringing with her father. She didn't have a broken home. He misidentified her as having a broken home, or basically being a ne'er-do-well, which she was not. Even though she was trying to prove herself to her father, who she never got to prove herself for, because he died when she was young. In fact, I would say that her boss is her father figure more than her sexual figure, because she's trying to prove herself to a man in charge. I'm sorry. Even though it's the boys' club, she's still trying to prove herself to someone who cares for her, though not in a bedsheets kind of way, right? So we get the motivation of her. We get the motivation of Buffalo Bill. We get the motivation of the guy that you were just talking about, the scumbag from the prison, right? His motivation is fame and fortune. The motivation of the people in the Smithsonian are they're nerds and they just want to have a girlfriend. Like, we're always worried about everyone's motivation, and the only person's motivation that we're not worried about is Hannibal Lecter. We don't care what his backstory is. We're never told what his backstory is. He's just evil. He's doing what he's doing because that's what he does. And in that way, Hannibal Lecter is a shark. He's just a shark. He's doing what he's doing because that's what he does. He's not necessarily trying to... The view I get is he's a cannibal. He's not necessarily, from what we know in this movie. Maybe there's backstory in Hannah, whatever. Maybe there's other backstory in other novels. But if this movie were to be standalone, he's a shark. This is what he does. He doesn't necessarily punish. He just wants to do his thing, which is evil, generally speaking. That's the vibe I get. And the only person whose motivations we don't wonder about are Dr. Lecter, because he's just evil. We don't care if he was abused as a child. We don't care why he is the way he is. He's a shark. That's just what he does. And if you look in his eyes, when Demi makes us look in his eyes over and over again, when he's staring at people and not blinking, those are shark eyes. As far as I'm concerned, he's just a predator. And that doesn't excuse his behavior. He's just a predator. And that's what he does. Much like Miggs next to him, we don't wonder about Miggs' motivation. He's a horrible person. He's a spider. Did you see Miggs on those bars? Yeah. Climbing on the bars? He's like a monster. He's a spider. A spider that masturbates a lot, but a spider nonetheless. I'm just saying. Guys, it happened in the movie. I'm just saying. Okay. And he's gross. And we don't worry about him. Yeah.
Melanie.
I do want to say, I don't think he's not evil. He's more insane. He does have a good side. When you say evil, I think Michael Myers with the cold shark look in his eyes.
Fair enough.
That's just mindlessly killing. He's nothing like that.
Okay.
He's brilliant. He knows what he's doing, but and he does have a heart. And when you see in the beginning, he doesn't really care for her. He's just like, go away, fly away, blah, 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 blah. And then when he says quid pro quo, and he's still kind of screwing with her a little bit because he knows he can do it. But once she starts talking about and being truthful about how her dad died and what happened to her, the look on his face immediately, that psychiatrist is back. and you can see the look in his eyes. He's like, oh God, like it's just this, oh my God, and he just has this utter sympathy for her at that moment, and I've always seen that in his eyes from the very first time I ever watched that. When she starts talking about her dad, look at his eyes when she says that. It's this overwhelming sadness for her, and an evil person isn't really like that. So he's more insane than evil, and you can see that he does have sympathy.
I will push. I will wait. I will push against that a little bit. I didn't say he was evil. Maybe, and if I did, I apologize.
Yes, you did.
And if I said the word evil, I apologize. I may have just been running at the mouth, so I apologize.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, all right. Well, what I'm saying is that what he does. All right, and I'm sorry. That's not really the point I wanted to get at. And I never apologize for what I say. I don't necessarily want to. If I came across as that, what I really want to say, he's just monstrous.
Yes.
His motivations are monstrous, and so we don't care why he does what he does, because we're not given privy to that backstory. He's a shark on the hunt, and his motivations are immaterial, and much like Michael Myers, where he's just a shark out hunting, or whatever. Like, we don't really care about that part. So, and I think I misrepresented my point. So I want to thank you for pushing back against that. I didn't. If I said evil, that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say was monstrous. He's doing what he does because that's what he does. That's really my foundational point. He's doing what he does because of what he does, and we don't care about backstory or whatnot. And that's what makes him so sinister, and that's what makes him so fun to watch. Emma, go.
I just think at the core of who he is, he like, I guess this is gonna make psychologists sound bad, but at the core of what he is he is a psychiatrist. Like, he loves how smart he is and how able he is to figure out people. He loves it. That's why he plays this game with Jodie Foster's characters. He loves being able to get into someone's mind and understand them, and just to really just get into the nitty-gritty of what makes a person tick. And even, and like you said, the monstrous side of him is where he'll use that to that person's demise. I feel like sometimes, like, especially with Riggs or Miggs or whatever the person is, he likes to try to psychologically torture people a little bit. I don't know. Like, it seems like at the core of what he is he's just someone who's so smart, he feels like a psychiatrist who just went insane, which is what he is. He still has that incredibly smart side of him who does care for people, because you can see him care for, and like you were saying, his motivations is you don't really care or know what his motivations are. I feel like his motivations are eventually to help Jodie, or Starling. I think eventually, initially, no, I think he just wanted to toy with somebody because that's just what he does. But eventually he ends up caring for her in that way, because you can see it in just the way he acts towards her. He wants her to succeed. Like, he wants this for her. And even when he calls her at the end, is like, have the lamb stopped screaming? Like, he cares. Like, he wants, like, he I don't know, he just, like, wants to get there and understand Jodie and care for her in a way.
But what makes it complicated is that we have the two cops that he eviscerates, and the cops are just doing their job. They're not evil people. They're just doing their job, and he eviscerates them.
Right.
In a very classy way.
They're going to give you 3 hots in the cut.
Like, it's they didn't do anything wrong.
In the cut. Like, 3 hot meals. It's like the guy wasn't that bad.
I will say, and since you brought up the title of the movie, and I think, and I always like movies that don't hit me over the head and tell me what I should think or how I should interpret things. I like that they leave it up to me. And to me, they never say the silence of the lambs. They say, are the lambs still screaming? And Jodie Foster's, her motivation for doing what she does, which she eventually has with her last therapy session with Dr. Lecter, is, her father dies. She goes to the ranch in Montana, she's not abused in this ranch in Montana, but she can't deal with the slaughtering of the lambs, and she runs away trying to rescue a lamb. And to me, I sat for about 15 minutes going, what exactly is this symbolism? Who is the lamb? Who is the father on the ranch? Who is her actual father? How is this all tied together in her own little psychology? And what I think is really great about that analogy, that symbolism, is it's not crystal clear why she wants, like, what's the connection between saving the slaughtered lamb and who she is today. Because the slaughtered lamb, I don't think, is necessarily the woman in the pit that Buffalo Bill has rescued, or all of the people that she's trying to help. I personally don't think the lamb is all the people she's trying to help in the FBI. I think the lamb is her, but I don't know how. And it's not super clear, and I don't care that it's not super clear. Like, I don't think the symbolism is super clear. I just think it's there, and we can take away from it what we want. And all she wants is in her head for the lamb to stop screaming, and she does. How? I don't know, and I don't care. It makes sense to Jodie Foster, and if you're in therapy and you go to a psychoanalyst, that's all you care about. It has to make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And to me, that's good. Like, they don't tell us, oh, no, the lamb is this, and Jodie Foster is this, and, like, it doesn't matter. And I like that it's that elusive. Because I sat for about 10 minutes trying to figure it out, and I couldn't, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I don't care. It all it matters is that Jodie Foster figured it out.
To me, I think, honestly, you're actually looking into a little bit too much right there, because honestly,
no, me?
He knows that no, seriously, because he basically, when she tells it, you can tell, and one of the reasons why he appreciates her is how she tells the story as if she was there at that moment and she was reliving the entire thing. And that they were screaming, it was horrible to hear. She wanted to save all of them. Me and Emma would have been the same exact way. She tried to let all of them go, but they just stood there. So she just tried to at least grab one of them, but he was too heavy. And he says to her, I feel like she got defeated that she couldn't save those lambs, because they all did eventually get slaughtered. And just as he says, and you feel that if you can save her, Catherine, that you can maybe stop them from screaming because she keeps getting woken up by those nightmares. I honestly do. And she kind of looks at him like she agrees with him. So I think because she's failed when she was a child to be able to save poor defenseless animals from being killed, this is one of the reasons why she wants to do what she wants to do, because she wants to try to save defenseless people from being killed from predators, and she's trying to protect people. I honestly think that is exactly what it's about. I don't think there's some sort of a weird analogy about it. I think that is what it's about, and she kind of does look at him like she agrees with him. So I do think that's what it is. I agree,
but I think it's leaving off the part of her being the woman in the man's world bit. And I don't know how that all kind of cleaves together. I think I agree with what you're saying about trying to save the innocents, but also a lot of her motivation in her life is to try to prove herself to a father figure while pushing against the boys club. And that doesn't really mesh all together. Maybe it doesn't have to. And that's my point. Is that all of the loose ends don't need to get tied in your brain in order to be happy. You just need to tie the loose ends that matter to you at that moment. And that's kind of the things that you talk about when you go into that kind of therapy situation. So,
there could be something to say about her father.
Yeah. What's that?
Like, her father died when she was really young. There could be something to say about, like, how she could have wished she could have saved her father or something like that. That could be some part of that. Is she couldn't save him, she couldn't save these lambs, and now she just wants to save anybody who needs to be saved. I feel like I feel like there could be something there with her father, because we don't really get much about that. Just that he I can't remember if they said how he died, but he died when
he was a policeman.
Well, yeah, so that's what I'm saying is she wants to prevent these innocent people from being harmed, and her father was shot, like, just doing his job. Like trying to protect somebody or something.
The young actress that played young Jodie Foster is in a very niche role, because she's always playing young Jodie Foster. She plays young Jodie Foster in this movie in Silence of the Lambs, and her father dies. She also
Yeah.
plays young Jodie Foster in Contact
Oh my
when
God.
her father dies.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's the same little actress. I'm like, she looks awfully familiar, and it's the same.
That's
It's the
funny.
same actor playing the same young Jodie Foster under the same circumstances, where their father dies prematurely. Whatever. I'm just throwing it out.
You know how you were talking about like how it's like she's like a woman in a man's world and blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, like when Emma was talking about that documentary, a lot of this movie was taken off of real facts, and they actually worked with the FBI profilers like crazy. And like you got to see this documentary. But there is like we were talking about, there is this one lady who basically founded this entire thing. And so they could be kind of also drawing from the truth from this woman, like from real history. It's basically how it really was back then.
Because
You
she
know what
was I wish to God I could think
I
of
know,
what her name
it's so
was.
horrible.
But she
Emma, you call yourself a student.
I know.
listen. I learned about this on my own. They don't even tell you about her,
All right.
which is part of that. Like she, like Mindhunter. Mindhunter is that show on Netflix is the story of how like this forensic psychology like profiling started. However, I think she might be in it, but she has a very small role in it because it's still that like erasure of a woman doing the thing. Like the actual God, I wish I knew what her name was.
Dr. Ann C. Wolbert Burgess. She actually was a nurse, and a psychiatric clinical nurse. That's how
Yes.
she started.
But people did not take her serious because it is such a male-dominated field. When she started, not a single person was taking her seriously at all, even though she was brilliant and knew what she was talking about. Like, no one took her seriously. And like my mom was saying, I think that is definitely where they drew some of this from, is because this is a movie about like forensic psychology. It is a movie about all that stuff. And the woman who started all of it, her story I feel like is being represented here a little bit, because she was a woman who was not being taken seriously in a male dominated field, and that's what this movie is Jodie. And sometimes she's taken seriously and sometimes she's not. Like when all the cops they were around the body at the funeral home, and she's telling them to get out because she's part of the FBI and they need to do something, and they're all looking at her like like, who are you to tell me what to do? They're like looking her up and down, like, who is this little girl telling me what to do? This is ridiculous. And that's the truth for so many women, and especially Dr. Ann something?
Yeah, Ann Burgess.
Ann Burgess, and that's her story, and I think that was partially Demi's demonstration of that, and that
They were basically laughing at her. Like the
Well,
FBI they called her in there to help, and then they literally she went up there and she was trying to explain things, and they were laughing at her.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think this movie is kind of an homage to the real story of how forensic psychology was founded and started.
I mean, you cast Jodie Foster because she's so good at what she does, and she's so good at kind of having that internal soft pain. But also, she's the shortest person in the staff in the cast, and that's on purpose because she's going to be underneath everybody. So adding to that intimidation.
I was impressed.
There's the scene in the elevator where she gets in the elevator at the very beginning, and everyone's this much taller than her, and they're all guys. It's to represent like that the difference of respect.
I was impressed that the actress Jodie Foster did the actual flip on the ropes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm like, wow.
What's
Like,
that?
she really
I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, my shoulders are gonna get
doing the
torn
rope
off.
course, right? And she climbs over,
Okay.
does a flip, and holds on with her wrists. And I'm like, I could see that really hurting her wrists if she did that wrong. And like, I don't know why they didn't just make someone else do it for her, like, and shoot from behind, just on the risk factor. Like, you don't want anybody doing anything like today. Like in movies today, like no, except for Tom Cruise. Like,
Bob Barker, we found
launch
out
off
2
of a
days
cliff.
ago. Bob Barker did his own stunts, and
well, you know what I'm saying. Like for the most part, they're like, no.
Yeah.
You know, like you're gonna hurt yourself, so don't.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just saw her flip over, and I saw her face, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you know, and I know it has nothing to do with the actual film, but you know, so, but like, it was just like, wow, that's really cool.
Me and Emma were picking on like her sweat stain. We were like, And we were like, she goes something like, she's awfully sweaty to be able to soak through those 2 shirts. I go, that's because it's a spray bottle.
Yeah.
And it's like her hair on the top of her hair was
Right.
perfect. She just had a little bit of moisture on her bangs, and I'm like, I go to the gym three days a week in a gym where there's no AC. The back of my head is just wet, and like hers was not at all.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was just a triangle on the front, triangle on the back. Like, no, you'd have all this sweat in the middle of your back, and like
Armpits were dry.
Yes, the armpits were dry, and it was the stupidest sweat stains I've ever seen.
I promise
So I have
you, Quantico, Virginia is sultry. I am promising
Well-
you. Hey, you're in Atlanta. You
I
know.
know.
It is
I'm not
sultry.
denying that.
I want to say one quick note before we talk about the very suspenseful ending is that the only unfortunate result of this film, in my opinion, is that I've said before, I live in D.C. It's a very progressive area. A lot of transgender in the area, and I respect the community. I think you should just be you. Be a happy person, whatever. You're not hurting anybody. Cool with me. Everybody should serve. Everybody should do what they want to do. I don't care. Do your thing. And unfortunately, because this movie was so popular, it did set back the transgender community about 10 or 15 years because they're working very hard to be accepted. And now you have this character who's not, it wouldn't matter if he was not transgender, he would have been crazy. But now you have a bunch of the common society now identifying people that are transgender as quote unquote crazy, and you never know what they're going to do, and they're obviously messed up because why would they want to do this to themselves? And it is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you erase the movie, you don't woke the movie. It is what it
Jodie
is.
Foster does mention when they were talking about it with Dr. Lecter that it is very rare for anybody that is transgender to have tendencies like that. They're not people like that at all.
Well, that's great.
Well, you can see them try to do it a little in the movie because I mean, there's that part in that same scene. Lecter says like, "No, he's not really transgender. He just doesn't really know what he's doing. Like he wants to change. He wants to be someone else. So he's thinking he's transgender. So and they try to fix it a little there, but and I do think it's so unfortunate because this is such an interesting character to have, and his motivation for doing what he does and what he's doing is creating a freaking suit out of women. That's incredibly interesting and something that's very different, but it's very unfortunate that people are so small-minded that all they take is just, oh well, he's trans and he's a serial killer, so well, all these trans people are horrible, and that's the farthest thing from the truth.
Of
and
course.
it's so unfortunate that people can be so small-minded that that's all they take away from a film.
Right. And they did try to. I noticed that this time because again, younger me is like, oh, transgender people are weird because where am I from? Right, we're from. And not a lot of transgender community where we're from, so you just kind of go, oh, that's weird. So weird people do weird things, and the movie does have that one sentence to do that. But now, you know what I mean? Like you said, small-minded people. It doesn't matter if the movie says something to try to justify what this person is doing. They're just going to come away with that, and it's unfortunate. Yeah. That's all. I just want to say it's unfortunate that that's what people do take away from that.
Tu Wong Fu came out like not too long ago.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
No, but I'm just saying, like other things came out not that long, not many years later. So,
everybody here see Tu Wong Fu?
No, I've never.
I've actually not seen it. I've listened to the episode. I'm dying to see it because I know it's right up my alley.
Good, it's so good.
I want to. It's on my list of like things to watch. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Oh, great! It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Want to talk about
and Patrick Swayze's in it, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
I love him to death.
You will love him more. He's so good.
He's great.
It's so good. Anyway,
we really lost somebody when he died.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah, I cry every time I think about it. Yeah, every time. And I don't even think I was alive when he was still alive. I can't remember when he died.
Yeah.
But I cry every time I think about it because all I see is the pictures of him after the cancer has really taken a toll on him in my head, and I'm like, this is. I can't.
There are a couple Hollywood deaths that really bother me. That's one, and Phil Hartman bothers the fuck out of me.
Yes, me too. Crazy bitch wife.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I was not
I
around
don't care.
enough
CB
for
dubs.
that.
Yeah, you don't
CB dubs.
you don't know Phil Hartman.
I know who he is. I listened to a podcast episode about him actually,
So sad.
and it is really from what I've heard about it is really sad. But
Awful.
I would never grew up really watching anything he was in, so it doesn't hit
Oh
me
my
as hard as
God.
everybody else.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
But I do actually. I remember side tangent. I remember exactly where I was, and I learned that Michael Jackson died.
Okay.
I was like, what? He died in 2009. I was 5 years old. I remember standing in my dad's office just crying.
I love Free
that's
Willy.
really that's the only one I really remember.
Like the river Jordan.
I love all of
Melon
it.
seed of the. All right.
So all right. So you want to do anything on the ending before we?
The ending is, here's the thing, like the ending is so good, but it's almost like the action set piece they needed to have to end the movie, because the rest of the movie is so psychologically dense and so tense, and now you actually have almost a horror movie ending. She's in the
Yes.
dark, she can't see him, he's got night vision. Again, she only finds him sort of by accident, but doing an errand, an unfortunate errand for her boss, and it all kind of comes together, and it's shot. When I first saw it, I was misdirected. I didn't know the bell that was going off. I thought that was where
Oh, I know, yeah, they
the
tried
other
to do it
guys
on purpose.
were going.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to see here, and then that moment of dread when you see the moth land on the spindles, and because at first she walks in the house and like,
Get out.
whoa,
Get out.
Let's start over.
weird.
I'm on Mom's podcast.
That was weird.
I didn't even see it. I was looking down.
Chloe just ran in here and she saw the camera. She went,
Was she wearing clothes?
sort of.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It's okay.
Oh my
I
God.
promise. I promise. I will cut this part.
Okay.
I gotta see that. I want to see it.
It was funny.
All right.
What was she wearing though?
She's just a long t-shirt. I don't know if she had pants on or not, but she had just a very long t-shirt on. She walked in here. She's probably coming to tell me something. She saw this and just went,
No, leave it on there. If she had clothes on, leave it. It's gonna be funny.
All right, fine.
I want to see it.
So
I wanted to say the goggle part reminded me of an episode of Monk, because one time Monk had those those night vision glasses on, and there
Yeah.
was like a killer in his house, and the lights the electricity was off, right? So he puts the goggles on. He thinks he's getting the better of this guy, and he's talking to him. You can't see me. All this. I'm over here. Or am I over here? All that. And then all of a sudden, the guy's just standing right in front of him, and then he's like, the electricity turned back on, didn't? And the guy's like, yep.
Yep.
Like,
Yes,
funny.
it did.
And then I want to say, I don't like how, like, Catherine, obviously
Yeah.
the girl's there to save her, Starling, and she calls her a bitch. She's like, get back here, you bitch. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my
Right.
God.
I was talking to Emma earlier, and I said,
yeah.
it's probably because she has not seen a normal human being
Yeah.
in days. Okay.
Yeah.
Thinking I'm gonna die soon, and this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't leave me.
Yeah.
I
No,
get
I
it,
don't-
but
I
like,
don't
if
think
she,
it was-
If she stayed
it-
there, then the guy would kill both of them. So she needs to figure out
No, I
where
get
he
it.
is.
I get it.
Right.
But it's pure panic. It's
Yeah,
I don't
probably.
think it's I'm gonna insult you. It's no, get the fuck back here, you fuck. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I have. You're the first normal human being I've found in days because I think I'm gonna die. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna be rational with
Yeah,
your
that's true.
behavior.
You're not
That's
gonna be
my
rational.
only
You've
thought
been through too
on
much.
that. Like
Yeah.
it's just like yeah, like you don't need to like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what I like most about that moment is, like I said, when Jodie Foster first walks in the house and she's looking around and things
Yeah.
aren't adding up because it's an abandoned house. Like the person that was there was murdered by
yeah, we see her
Buffalo.
later.
Yeah, in the bathtub, right?
By the way, oh,
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
the
No doubt
odor
gross.
that must
Yeah.
be.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Well, how about, like,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about the part where Buffalo Bill was crying when she was begging for her mom. He kept referring to her as it.
Yeah.
That's like, because he was trying to, just like they said, look at her like an it and not a person. That's why she kept saying, my daughter is Catherine, blah, blah, blah. But he was crying. He felt
Yeah.
bad for her, and he kept trying to shut his feelings off because he just wanted her skin. But,
Yep.
like...
That's why he got mad and he was just like, put the lotion in the basket at the like end of that scene because he didn't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
He just wanted to kill her and take her skin.
Yep.
So that's very complicated. It's a very complicated way to look at it, which is why the character is so good. And we don't need to... We are left to figure out what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Even though it's a whole movie about profiling, they leave it to us to give us some clues about how he's responding to things, which I think is neat. But again, good on Starling or good on Jodie Foster for walking in and kind of, she's looking around going, none of this adds up. The inside of this house doesn't make any sense. And then she's like getting like, not sure what's going on. And then the moth lands on the spindles and you see everything click in her head and go, oh boy, I'm fucked.
I know, like his business cards up in the air and his little movement as the door. That was so funny.
I love that part. He's like,
so funny.
he just runs away, scurries away into the basement. And he's just like, and you can see it on his face the whole time when she's realizing it. And she's like, do you have a phone that I can use? He's got the cards in his face like, oh, fuck, I'm fucked. And he's like freaking out. He's like,
I think he laughs at that point. He's laughing.
You can tell he's nervous.
He's laughing because, like, how absurd! Like, she thinks I'm gonna let her use the phone.
To me, it was more of like he's like nervous laughing, more like oh my god, she knows, knows, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
She's in the FBI. I'm done for.
Yep. And he's trying to get all this information. So do they have any like fingerprints or?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Are the cops close?
How about
how much do they know?
What I like is what we haven't mentioned is that the girl in the well pulls the dog into the well to use as leverage against Buffalo Bill.
And that was incredibly smart.
Yes, because
incredibly smart because because I know he goes and tries to get the gun because he wants to kill her now, but all she has to do is just put the dog in front of wherever he's aiming, and so he's not going to shoot the gun because he's not going to shoot his dog.
But
so that was very smart.
And I love at the end, when she's being taken out, she's still holding the dog.
Yes.
He's just got a dog now.
I love you now. You know, like after 2 minutes ago, she was like, "Get over here, you little shit," and then she's like, "I love you."
Well, and when the whole fight, not the fight scene, the whole chase scene, she's still got the dog in her hands. Even though if she were to put him down, he can't get out of the well himself. But she's still holding that comfort of the dog. Like even though she's using him as leverage, she's like glad to have something, and she's holding him so tight.
She'll have him forever, I think.
Yeah.
Tough few days in a well, but hey, free dog.
Free dog.
Free little mini.
And he's cute.
You ready?
He's a freaking cute dog.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Super cute.
It's time for TMI with Melanie.
Listen to this. I am in the bathroom right before the movie starts. And I'm in the stall, and there's no toilet paper.
Mine are at home in a display case above my bed. TMI, my friends.
It's just TMI? Too much information. Say don't go there, but that's lame.
Now, here's Melanie with your timeless movie info.
All right, Melanie.
Okay. So I'm going to go through this uninterrupted because there's a shit ton of it.
Go.
Okay. The budget was $19 million. It grossed $272.7 million. Let me just read this off my phone real quick. When Anthony Hopkins found out that he was cast as Hannibal Lecter based on his performance as Dr. Frederick Treves in The Elephant Man, he questioned the director, Jonathan Demme. He said, "But Dr. Treves was a good man," to which Demme replied, "So is Lecter. He is a good man too. He's just trapped in an insane mind."
All right.
Okay, that was thing. Okay. Let's see. The movie recouped its budget in the first week of the release and stayed on top of the U.S. box office for 5 weeks. Selected by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Film Registry in December 2011 as being culturally, historically, and incorrect and insignificant or whatever. Clarice Starling was chosen by the American Film Institution as the 6th greatest movie hero out of 50, the highest ranked female on the list, and Dr. Hannibal Lecter was chosen as the #1 greatest movie villain, also out of 50. Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster only share 4 scenes throughout the course of this whole movie. Jodie Foster avoided Anthony Hopkins during their scenes together because she was terrified of him. Jodie Foster claims that during the first meeting between Dr. Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling, Anthony Hopkins was mocking her southern accent, and that was all improvised on the spot. Foster's horrified reaction was genuine because she felt personally attacked but then later thanked Hopkins for generating such an honest reaction. She did not know he was going to do that. In preparation for this role, Anthony Hopkins studied files of serial killers. Also, he visited prisons and studied convicted murderers and was present during some of the court hearings concerning gruesome murders and serial killings.
Fun.
Jodie Foster spent a great deal of time with FBI agent Mary Ann Krause prior to filming. Krause gave Foster the idea of Clarice Starling standing by her car and crying. She told Foster that at times the work had become so overwhelming that this was a good way to get an emotional release. The real-life FBI Behavioral Science Unit assisted in the making of this movie, and the production received full cooperation from the FBI as they saw it a potential in a recruiting tool to hire more female agents. Jodie Foster and Jonathan Demme and Scott Glenn and a few other cast members and crew members did a great deal of research at the FBI training facility in Quantico, Virginia. They studied under criminal profiling agents, learned about firearms and agent training, and sat in several classes. After being cast as James Gumb, Ted Levine developed his character by reading profiles of serial killers. Levine later said he found the material very disturbing. Since Gumb was a cross-dresser, he went to a few trans bars and interviewed some patrons. James Gumb's dance, not included in the original draft of the screenplay, although it appears in the novel, it was added to the insistence of Ted Levine, who thought the scene was essential in defining his character. Brooke Smith, which is Catherine, and Ted Levine were actually close during the set, making Jodie Foster refer to Brooke Smith as Patricia Hearst, a kidnapping victim who fell in love with her kidnapper.
Oh boy, that's tough.
She was joking. Brooke Smith entered in and out of a pit by crouching through a small door that was half her size. It was then covered with dirt to keep it out of sight of the camera and the pit, the well that she was in. Mm-hmm. After Jodie Foster first read the Thomas Harris novel, she tried to buy the rights herself, only to find that Gene Hackman had beat her to it. Gene Hackman also wanted to play Anthony Hopkins' part, but he played, I guess, a bad guy in some other movie, and he didn't like the way it looked on him, so he backed out of that part.
Good.
Anthony Hopkins viewed the film as a last-ditch effort to really break into Hollywood. Although he had acted on some television in the past and since the 1960s, he never quite got the A-list status that he was really hoping for. He went on to say that if this film had not garnered his career boost that he was seeking, he would have quit his acting career in Hollywood and just focused his efforts on British stage instead. But obviously it did amazing.
Probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he plays a pope at some point in a movie called The Two Popes, but
yeah.
And he was also in Transformer movies as well, so he doesn't mind a paycheck. This guy. All right.
Yeah, but this was a while ago though. Before.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was in a movie called Magic, where there was a
dummy.
Yeah, dummy. His performance in the film had earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, which he won, immediately launching him into A-list status in Hollywood. As of 2021, probably when this trivia was done, Hopkins has received 5 more Academy Award nominations, and he won another one for The Father in 2020. As of the end of the 90th Academy Awards in 2018, this is one of the 3 movies to win the top 5 Oscars: Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Director, Best Picture, Best Screenplay, and in this case, adapted from another medium. Both screenplay awards are considered part of the top 5. The other movies are It Happened One Night in 1934 and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975. Mm-hmm. The first moth cocoon found in one of the victims' throats, this is funny, was made from a combination of Tootsie Rolls and gummy bears.
All right.
So, because she was a real person laying there. Mm-hmm. So in case she swallowed it, it would be edible.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah. The tobacco hornworm moths that were used throughout this movie, because they weren't really the moths that they said, the deadhead moths, which actually Emma has a tattoo of that on her.
Wow. For this movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Hardcore. All right.
Yeah.
So, but they weren't that kind of moth. They were actually a tobacco hornworm. And these moths used throughout the movie were given celebrity treatment. They were flown first class to the set in special carrier, having special living quarters, rooms with controlled humidity and heat, and were dressed in carefully designed costumes, which were body shields bearing a painted skull and crossbones. I can't imagine the people that were making the outfits for these moths.
Like,
that's so cute.
We have a moth in at 7 a.m. for a costume fitting. Please let them in.
All these guys, all these moths do just demand shit.
Oh my god. Makeup. I think my wings are shiny.
Right. So funny. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to mention, in case you guys didn't know, that I don't know if you guys know who Gary Ridgway is. He's the Green River Killer. Mm-hmm. So they didn't mention this in the film, but Ted Bundy actually helped catch him. And just like this movie, the FBI went and talked to him several times. And I remember him saying that basically what you need to do, kind of gross, but what you need to do is the next time you find a body, don't pick it up, don't do anything to it, which is kind of not good to do because you want to get all the evidence that you can. He said instead stake it out and just wait because he's going to come back because he likes to visit the bodies and he likes to do things to the bodies. And that's exactly how they caught him. But Ted Bundy actually helped catch him. The other thing that they took from Ted Bundy was the technique that Buffalo Bill was using to fake his injuries with the cast and can you help me with this and blah, blah, blah. Ted Bundy did the same thing and that's how he caught a lot of people because he faked injuries and had a sling and things like that. He would drop books and things like that or ask somebody to help him get his, I don't know, surf, I don't know what it was, something in the car. But that's how he would lure women because women are generally sympathetic and helpful and were wanting to help somebody that looked like they had an injury. So they kind of took those kind of things. And then also Ed Gein was a serial killer that would kill somebody and make things out of their skins just like he did. And then that is also how they got a movie with Leatherface in it because of that whole thing too. Yep. And then, so that whole thing. And then this is creepy as hell. Serial killer Richard Ramirez was a fan of this movie. He really liked Ted Levine's performance as Buffalo Bill. He told the New York Post that the guy on the show in Monk, from Monk, I really like him. That scene where he says it rubs the lotion on its skin, I really like that. That's so freaking creepy.
That's lovely.
Okay. Right?
Gross.
Fun fact here, Martha Stewart and Anthony Hopkins dated briefly during this production of the film.
Okay.
However, after the film's release, she broke up with him because she couldn't stop seeing him as Hannibal Lecter.
That's terrible.
I was like, okay, I didn't know that.
And all of the lotion disappeared from her home.
Yeah, right. I don't know how. To me, it's just crazy. And we've talked about this before in movies. How can you not separate knowing that this person's an actor? I just don't get it. It's not real. I mean, come on. Anyway, singer Chris Isaac plays the leader of the SWAT team that enters the elevator after Lecter's escape.
Okay.
I was looking for him, but I didn't really see him.
I didn't see him. Okay.
That part, yeah. In an interview, John Carpenter declared his disappointment over the movie focusing so much on Clarice Starling's character and that he would have loved to direct this, making it much more frightening and gripping.
Nah.
As if it wasn't already. But
nah.
So I don't know what he would have done.
Yeah.
I almost didn't put this in here because it was kind of big, but I just thought it was interesting. So although this movie got rave reviews when it came out, Chicago Tribune film critic Gene Siskel, who is usually hostile to horror movies, slammed the movie and gave it only 2 stars. He said that The Silence of the Lambs is to the point of silliness in terms of both gross behavior and pulsating soundtrack. The conclusion of the film is nothing more than a grisly version of every mad slasher picture you've ever missed. The movie, of course, went on to become a huge box office hit and the only horror movie to ever win the Academy Award for Best Picture. It is now considered one of the best horror movies ever made and still has a huge cult following and fan base. Roger Ebert, however, Siskel's fellow film critic and partner, loved the movie and would still continue to ridicule him for missing the boat on this movie years after this.
Right? As you should. Cisco, shut up. All right.
Yeah, right.
All right.
I'm done finally.
I wonder if it holds up.
It's time now for final judgment. Are you ready to rubber stamp this bitch? Here's the final judgment.
All right, it's time for final judgment. We're going to see if this movie holds up today. Gee, I don't know. I really have.
Why don't we all just say it at the same time?
All right, ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fine. All right, good. We're good.
All right, everybody, have a
That's
great
it.
day. I'd like to thank.
I mean, we've kind of made the
with
case.
the Malfoys for our theme music. And,
Yeah, all of us have made the case one way or another that this movie is obviously solid and it should be watched. And I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's up there. You hate to have something that's so gruesome to be so classic, but it's classic.
I have nothing. I mean, I think I don't think we have to go over why it holds up. I think it's. I think it's all together. But I just want to say one thing I never got to mention earlier, and it's just a really, really disgusting moment. I don't even think we have to say it. I just like when Griggs does something terrible to Jodie Foster. I would just like to say that. I don't think there could be a long enough shower. Like,
No,
God.
definitely not.
Like, I watched that and I was like, oh, like
No, and it literally hit her right in the freaking eye, and and she just like, wiped it right off,
and went right back to talk to Dr. Lecter for a second.
Right, I would have been like,
you don't understand. There's something on your face.
Even the other prisoners were grossed out. They were like, "You idiot," or whatever.
Oh,
Like,
it was
and then
just
I think
mortified.
that, but if that didn't happen, he wouldn't have felt bad for her and told her, "Come back here." You know,
No, I get it. I get it.
Right, yeah.
I'm just saying, in general, I thought about that and I said there would not be a long enough shower. Like,
no, not
I'd
at
be
all.
in there for like 3 hours.
I wonder what they used.
Yeah.
But really,
So disgusting.
I'm sure you can look that up.
So, anyways.
Well, I just wanted to say something about the movie real quick.
Go ahead, Emma.
I was saving this kind of for like the does it hold up section, but I recommend this movie to every single person I meet, even though sometimes it is, you kind of have to be in a like certain kind of mood to actually sit down and watch it. Like you have to be ready to sit and watch something serious, but I genuinely feel as if it is one of the most perfect movies ever made. I love every single thing about it. The camera shots, the vibe of it, the actors they cast in it, the story, everything, every single aspect of this movie is 100% perfect in my opinion. And I just had to put that out there. I adore this film.
Yeah, it's well constructed. There's no way around it.
Oh yeah, well
It's
directed,
well
well
constructed.
written, like the music in the background. And even like me and my mom sometimes will watch movies.
Howard
and
Shore.
The movie's not bad, but the soundtrack in the back is so stupid that it ruins the movie. You know
Howard
what I mean?
Shore.
Like, just every single thing was good.
Howard Shore did the music for the Lord of the Rings. So.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Not fucking around.
Gives you anything, you know.
Yep.
Right.
So.
Very
some
good.
great
Everything
shit
was
right
well, performed.
Yeah, it's just phenomenal. Like, I mean, I have a freaking tattoo from it because that's how much I love it.
Yeah.
And people have, like, I've got my boyfriend's sister bought it for me on DVD for my birthday because I love it so much. Like, it's just wonderful.
Good.
And I feel like that just needed
So I
to
was
be
like, how are we going to watch this? And then I know.
Yeah, no, I have it. Jasmine got it for me.
Well, that's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, that was our coverage of Silence of the Lambs, and I hope you enjoyed that because we did. And and we only have a couple episodes left, and we're sad about that, but we do love everybody. And can I read a quick email we got?
Sure.
Yeah.
We got this from Steve Scarpetti. Who's he's been on the show like 3 or 4 times. He said, "Hey guys, just saw the latest podcast and wanted to reach out. While I totally understand your reasons, I'm bummed the show will come to an end. Thank you for welcoming me into the fam. Was always a good time. Keep in touch." Steve Scarpetti.
Scarpetti.
I had to say that.
That's fun.
Like, how great is he?
He was a good guest.
Yeah.
I know. I told Emma because she listens to every one of them, and I told her, she goes, "Why?"
Yeah.
I know. I was very sad because I listen all the. I know, and I totally understand.
Yeah.
Things happen, but
Yeah.
no, I listen to it all the time, and I because I work in a cash office by myself, so I'm constantly listening to podcasts, and every time there's a new episode of this, I just always put it on.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And thank you. And the one thing I definitely wanted to do was end it like with a plan, not like I've seen shows that all of a sudden they're just missing. Like no longer, and it's like I don't want that. We worked really hard on this for years. And,
That happened to one we used to listen to. We were looking for it. We're like, where they go?
Yes.
They're literally gone.
They just drop it. Yeah, it's too bad. So at least we try to end on something. So well, I'd like to thank Emma for joining us. I have no doubt she had a blast talking about her favorite film of all time.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
It was great.
And I'd like to thank Steve Lavoie for our vocal imaging, and Draco and the Malfoys for our amazing theme music. So until next time, movies may not age like fine wine, but we drink it anyway. Bye.